What though? This is your boy, Crispy Daniels, back at it once again on another episode of ShowNTalk. So today, y'all, we're not going to be discussing a movie, no TV shows, although I will be getting back with y'all on the Beyond Belief stuff. Season 3, actually. We finished up season 2 last week or the week before. But I just want to talk about this video game that is near and dear to me. I actually own it for the greatest console in history, in my opinion, the Super Nintendo. And that game is Primal Rage. But the one thing I will say, the arcade port of this game is superior. I know, speaking from experience. There was this place called Celebration Station, which was located in Greensboro, North Carolina. We used to go to me and my brothers every weekend, every Saturday, well, every other Saturday sometimes. But it had a lot of games that we played for the first time, actually out there. This was back in like the mid '90s, and I remember seeing the cabinet for Primal Rage, and I thought it was dope. A lot of people think the cabinet is ugly, but I thought it was dope. Um, Instantly, I wanted to play it because back then I loved and I was obsessed with dinosaurs, you know. But between fighting games and dinosaurs were like my two absolute most favorite things. I swear to God. So when I saw this game, I instantly popped in 2 quarters and got down to business. Now it's true, I got washed because it was the very first time I played it, but I had fun. You know, I got better at the game over time, but that's when I started playing the port for the Super Nintendo because that's the first and only port actually I think I've ever played other than the arcade version. But I want to go into the characters because I have a few favorites on this list. So as y'all know, there are only 7 characters in the game. There was going to be a boss character, but I believe the developers ran out of time, so they were not able to, put the boss in the game. So instead, it was like an endurance match at the end. You had to fight everybody over again, which it's not my cup of tea in fighting games, but I didn't mind it because, like I said, dinosaurs and fighting games were my two favorite things of all time. You know what I mean? Back in the day. But one of the characters that I used to use a lot was my boy Soren. Y'all know the yellow T Rex with the purple stripes. So I liked his design. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's true. Back in the day when I was playing this game, I was button mashing. I did not know what the hell I was doing, but I was executing moves. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was dope. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I'll do the same like button mashing techniques and try to do it again, but it wasn't working. But I later discovered that in this game, instead of doing, something like down forward B, like Sub Zero's Ice Beam, or down forward Y, Ryu and Ken's Fireball from Street Fighter, you had to hold the button, then do the combination. You know what I'm saying? So that's one way I got better at the game by, realizing that. But yeah, Soren was my guy. My other guy was Talon. Talon was fast. He was pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? Now, I hear that he had the longest reach in the game, which I guess that's true. But with Talon, he was another character I used to randomly pull off moves with. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like he was a shorter character, the shortest character in the game, and you can get away with a lot with him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Talon was a great character as well. Now, the character I hated using the most, I hated using was Armadon. Armadon was slow as shit. I swear to God, I did not like Armadon. And then, when you fighting him with the computer, he used to piss me off. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you would jump above him, he'll pop out his spikes. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, I hated that character. Every time I had to fight him, I always knew it was going to take me a while to beat him. I promise you. But one of the hardest characters in the game to beat was Vertigo. Like Vertigo had the reach, and she kept teleporting, and that shit used to piss me off as well. But like I said, I got through the game. I never beat the arcade version. Never. I will be the first to admit that. Never. But I beat the Super Nintendo version, several times, numerous times. And one of my goals one day, even though it's minuscule, is to beat the arcade version because I have this game on the PS2, Williams Arcade's Greatest Treasures. No, Midway, Williams. Midway's Arcade's Greatest Treasures 2. And it has this game on there. And it's close to the arcade version. I don't think it's quite the arcade version, but it's an emulation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I tried to beat it on that version. Couldn't do it. That version is much harder than the other ports. Now, another character that used to piss me off a lot was Chaos. Because Chaos used to do that damn fart every time you got close to him. That gas, yo, that shit made me mad too. I swear, I remember one day I almost broke the damn controller trying to beat this. It took me at least, damn, it took me about 25, 30 minutes to beat him. You know what I'm saying? Because he kept whooping my ass. And then I went through every character. But yeah, Chaos was pretty hard. Now, the one character in the game that was always easy to beat for me, that never beat me, was Diablo. Diablo was a joke in my opinion. Now, I'm pretty sure he's some of y'all favorite fighter, but nah, Diablo was a joke. But let's get into the gameplay. So, as y'all know, the game is it was programmed with stop motion images or footage. You know what I'm saying? So I know it took them a while to finish this, and the game was very expensive, from what I understand, to develop. Each character, I think it took thousands of dollars to develop each character to program them into the game, and I do like that style for this game at least. I don't know about any other game with stop motion, but this game it worked. For some reason, for me, it worked. Because, like I said, when I first saw it in the arcade, I was blown away. The game was fantastic. But the stop motion, it was great. You know, I feel like they used the right methods for this game. And the fatalities, like I was saying before, Chaos's piss fatality. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I think on the Super Nintendo, that might be the only version, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about every other version, but the Super Nintendo version, I know for a fact, didn't have this fatality. You know what I'm saying? Because, Nintendo back then had strict guidelines on what was allowed, what I'm saying, on their system as far as gaming. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the things that they definitely said no to. You know what I'm saying? Now the Genesis version had it. Back then, Nintendo versus Sega. The only reason why Sega caught up with Nintendo, in my opinion, is that Sega, they were a little more loose when it comes to content. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cutting this out, cutting that out. Like for an example, to me, the only game that's better on the Genesis, and I'm not counting any Mario, any Sonic games, or nothing like that. But I'm talking about a game that's on both ports. The only game that was on both ports, in my opinion, that was better on the Genesis was Mortal Kombat. And that's only because they had blood and the fatalities. Other than that, sorry, but Nintendo was superior. But anyway, this game came out on what, the PlayStation, the Sega Saturn, the Super Nintendo, 3DO, Jaguar, the Genesis, and the 32X. This was one of those games that came out on pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Game Boy and Game Gear. But like I said, I've only played the Super Nintendo port. And yes, I'm biased because I grew up with the Super Nintendo, so you know. But like I said, the arcade version is superior. Um, let's talk about. I want to go back, to my history for a minute. So, as I was telling y'all, the first time I played this game was in Celebration Station, and when I played it the first time, this is the only thing I could think about was this game. And every time I went up in there, it was two particular games I played. Now they had Tekken 2 at the time. They had Tekken 2. They had what other games did they had? They had they had the Neo Geo arcade machine. You know what I'm saying? They had what else did they? It was so long, man. So long ago. They had so many fantastic arcade games, man. But anyway, the only two games that I went up in there for. I mean, I played other games, but these were the two games that I made a beeline to when we went up in there. One was Primal Rage, and two was Art of Fighting on the Neo Geo MBS machine. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I played other games, but those were the two standouts for me. Oh yeah, they had Virtual Fighter as well. Virtual Fighter was another game I played. I sucked at back in the day though. Don't know, how I sucked that bad, but now I'm pretty damn good at it. You know what I'm saying? Preferably Virtual Fighter 2 though. But anyway, now there was a sequel to this game. It's at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. I've never been there, but I hear it's one of the biggest arcades on the planet. I guess it's the only place where you can find the arcade cabinet of Primal Rage 2. So from what I've seen, because I never really experienced any gameplay, but from the footage I've seen, you could choose a human character or one of the original fighters. They had a couple of other extra characters in it as well. You know what I'm saying? But you had like the human versions, the human avatars of the character. So if you pick, what I'm saying, the character and you do a combo, for a second they'll, transform into the beast character, you know what I'm saying, or the dinosaur character. Now, that's from what I saw. I don't know how the actual gameplay goes because I've never played it. Now, I do remember them talking about this game back in 1996 and when it was going to be released. But I say by the time 1999, 2000 came around, I forgot all about it because I was actually anticipating on the game because I loved the first one so much. But sadly, the son of a bitch never came out, man. And I was a little mad at that, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit. But anyway, Primal Rage, if you haven't played this game, you gotta play it. You gotta find some way of playing it. Get it for the Super Nintendo, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, really, except for the Game Boy and Game Gear versions, but anyway. But yeah, you have to play this fantastic game. I would give this game a 9 out of 10. But again, I appreciate y'all for listening. And we will be back with the first episode of Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction, Season 3, next week. And I will talk to you guys later. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Alright? Peace.
The feeling is mutual. Come in, take a seat, share your thoughts with each, and preach it when you speak, so we can share kinetic energy throughout the brainwaves. Keep us balanced out and all on the same thing.